everyone, welcome back to another 1v1 Warhammer battle. This is going to be Boris, Todbringer, and Midland, whatever, versus the Dwarves, a Vanguard deployed dwarf army, which I was not expecting. So I have a very stretched out formation here. Let's go over what I have. We have 2 Empire Knights on the flank. I have a total of 3 Greatswords, 1 over here and then 2 over here. We have 3 Spearmen located around the center, Boris Todbringer, of course. Then we have 3 rifles. We have the Jade Wizard who has the healing spells. Then we also, I brought a Witch Hunter because someone requested a Witch Hunter, and, well, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything about how well the Witch Hunter is going to do. And then I also brought a Sterling's Revenge over here, Vanguard deployed. So I assumed, you know, the Dwarf player would be like, you know, maybe here, but I wanted to have a spread out formation so we can kind of just encircle and enclose and then have the Sterling's Revenge come like behind them and basically just kind of have, maybe even have the rifle split up and we'll just fire at them from every direction so that they couldn't just, well, they would be overwhelmed. But this dwarf player did a Vanguard build, so I'm like, oh shit. So we have the Norgrimling's Iron Breakers. I think we have 4 miners with blasting charges mixed in here as well. And then 6 rangers? 3, 4, 5, 7. 7 rangers. Just normal rangers right there. Then we have 2 Thanes, Thorgrim Grudgebearer, and then a Runesmith back here along with the Dragonback Slayers. So yeah, I was not expecting the Vanguard build, but let's do this. So my riflemen are going to open up on the miners with blasting charges over here. They're also going to catch some of the rangers. Meanwhile, these rangers are going to try and focus down my greatswords, so I'm actually going to try and pull them out of this field of fire, or at least out of their range, because that has a lot of focusing fire. I'm just kind of running Boris over here just to keep my options open. I'm not entirely sure if I want to charge down yet or not. Going to get my Imperial Knights over here and try to get into these Rangers. Sterling's Revenge is going to be marching over here. Pardon me one moment. I actually have to increase the controls here briefly. There we go. And then we're going to be marching the Witch Hunter and then these 3 units around the flanks. And I need to just try and still encircle them so we can get past this front line and into the Rangers because that's going to be a lot of damage that I'm going to be taking if we don't deal with them. So they're going to be focusing on Boris Todbringer, which is okay because he can regenerate. In the meantime, we're going to be charging them with our Empire Knights here, and they're going to be getting hit by the miners with blasting charges. I did have to pull back my handgunners briefly because the Rangers were pushing in on them, and I wanted them to be distracted before they destroyed my handgunners totally. And so now they seem to be a little distracted. They're not really focusing all on my handgunners anymore, so we're going to open fire into these miners and then into the Rangers. Actually, looks like these guys are moving up to perhaps engage against my Rangers right now. That's okay. We're going to cast Earthblood on them to try and get them their health back. Meanwhile, we're going to get our secondary group of Empire Knights into these groups of Rangers because the Dragonback Slayers came in and routed off my first Empire Knight, but they will be back. Boris is now out of range of the Rangers, and I'm going to have him come back. And again, I'm still trying to get these units around and encircling this formation, so there's no safe place for these Rangers to go. So you can see now we're charging at them with these Spearmen because all these miners are over here dealing with these Spearmen and our Empire Knights. I'm going to be running at these other Empire Knights, I think, into this group of Rangers here soon. We have a Greatsword against some miners with blasting charges. The Greatswords will win that, but it kind of trades favorably with the miners in a 1v1 situation, kind of, because the miners are just so cheap. Getting Boris over here again to just kind of threaten a charge. I don't know. I can't remember if I charged immediately or not. But here we go. We have our Empire Knights coming back and going to get into the Rangers. I am going to charge Boris Todbringer down there. And we're also going to get our Greatswords in on this side of the Rangers. Still getting our Witch Hunter up here because I forgot to move for a little bit. Going to get our Empire Knights over here. And then we're getting Sterling's Revenge, which is almost in range. This is actually a long battle. Moving up our handgunners into a better position to try and destroy these miners and the Norgrimling Iron Breakers. I had to run with Boris Todbringer because Dragonback Slayers were coming in, so we're now going to charge in with the Greatswords and the Empire Knights. I'll even going to charge again Boris Todbringer into these Rangers again because Dragonback Slayers is now over here dealing with these Empire Knights. Meanwhile, the front line, the Norgrimling Iron Breakers have not really been engaged yet, but you are taking some pot shots at them, dealing with the miners for the most part. Still getting the Witch Hunter up here, trying to get him into a field of fire. Dragonback Slayers is now going to be going over here to these Empire Knights, trying to kill Boris, so we're going to run from these Rangers. And I can't remember what I do for Boris from here. I think I may do another charge against the Rangers because we need to keep them distracted and not firing. We're going to do a pull out from the Thanes and get into these Rangers over here and going to charge them with Boris again. Now Sterling's Revenge is actually in range, so we're going to start opening fire. I believe actually on the Slayers and the Rangers. I think I focused them on the Dragonback Slayers. Witch Hunter's still moving up. Jade Wizard's cast, I believe, 1 heal spell on one of my Empire Knights. These Greatswords finally did get rid of those miners. I guess it didn't trade favorably. I thought the miners did more damage than they actually did. But anyway, these Greatswords now for you are going to be marching in towards the Ranger section from this direction. Empire Knights are going to be coming over here to try and deal with these Rangers who have come back from routing, but I don't think my enemy has noticed them yet. And then Boris had to run from the Dragonback Slayers once again, who are now dealing with my second group of Empire Knights who are now dead. Now the Norgriming Ironbreakers are going to be holding off our greatswords and these spearmen. I'm going to get Boris the Topbringer over here with these miners far, far away from the Dragonback Slayers. You can see another regrowth going on our greatswords because they are going to be dealing with a couple Thanes, Thorgrim, and a Runesmith, which is a lot of damage for them to handle. Meanwhile, Sterling's Revenge is still just kind of opening fire on the Rangers because there's not too many heavily armored targets over here, and the Rangers are a big threat because they can easily destroy my Sterling's Revenge and my handgunners, who now you can see we have split up into 3 different groups. And right now I'm trying to still get shots in on these Norgrimling Ironbreakers, but my spearmen are in the way. So we're actually going to move up our handgunners here, and I think right here, and I'm going to try and open fire into the back of the Norgrimling Ironbreakers. In the meantime, these greatswords still trying to keep these Rangers at bay. My Empire Knights still chasing off these Rangers over here, and then my greatswords are being overwhelmed by the hero squad of this dwarf player. But the Sterling's Revenge is still free to open fire, so they're doing some decent damage over here. The Witch Hunter is shooting into, like, the Slayers, I think. Or maybe one of these heroes. I think I cast 1 accusation at this point. Jade Wizard, I think maybe cast one of the AoE heal spells over here to assist against Norgrimling Ironbreakers, so now I have Boris Topbringer down here, because I don't really want him back here around the Dragonback Slayers and the hero squad by himself, because he can get overwhelmed pretty easily. So I'm just kind of allowing our handgunners to deal with all of this. But now the Rangers are no longer under attack, so they're going to be opening fire on my Sterling's Revenge, and they're going to be doing so much damage to that Sterling's Revenge, which is going to be kind of insane. These handgunners now still firing at the Rangers soon-ish. I should have them firing into the Norgrimling Ironbreakers. I think I moved them over here with that intention, but then I just didn't give them the order, so now they're just kind of firing into the Rangers. Hero Squad is now currently charging towards Sterling's Revenge, and so they are getting away from these Rangers. So that means I'm going to go over here and try and disrupt them once more. My second Empire Knight at this point has been destroyed by other Rangers who destroyed them, I think from the back, when they were charging the routing group. Witch Hunter trying to get close enough to get some shots in on Thorgrim Grudgebearer. You can see... Oh, that's right. I actually had these handgunners open up on Thorgrim to try and snipe him really quickly. But they will start shooting into the back of the Ironbreakers so soonish. They have dealt a lot of damage to my Sterling's Revenge. They are currently routing, but they will come back. Trying to get these spearmen into the fight to try and pin down these Rangers. I'm keeping Boris here a little bit longer than I would like, but I need them to stay in this area. So I was trying to tie them down with Boris so they can continue to get hit by my handgunners, which are back here. And then give time for my spearmen to get in here to get some more just units, just models in here to try and tie down what's left of these Rangers. So we are going to fall back, but now since they are going to move over to the Spearmen, that leaves Boris free to charge back down into this range group, and you can see they're going to respawn in kind. But now we still have handgunners firing into them. We have the Witch Hunter firing into them. I'm not sure how much damage he's doing, but he is actually firing for once in the game. But there's nothing between him and his target for once. Meanwhile, back here, we do have a group of Grey Swords, and the Sterling's Revenge will come back from routing. I think I'm going to put them back into the fight here soon. And here you can see I'm finally opening a fire into the backs of the Ironbreakers, who have been dealing so much damage to my Grey Swords and the Spearmen. Meanwhile, the other handgunners are still dealing with Thorgrim Grudgebearer and their hero squad for the most part as they continue to chase Boris. And I am just using our mobility. You can see I routed this group. I'm going to run through them, and then I'm going to go over to this group, I think, to try and kill them. Yeah, so we're just trying to run over here, keep them terrified, or kill them one way or the other, try and keep them dealt with. While we still deal with the Ironbreakers, even though they're getting shot at by 2 handgunners in the back and have been taking on a greatsword this entire time, they're still fighting, which is just insane. They're so good. You can see the amount of damage we took for our little casual stroll from here to here. We took so much damage from the Rangers firing into Boris along with the hero squad. But he is still alive and he can still regenerate some. You can see by that dash right there, he still has some health to go back. And now that the Rangers are going way out here, far away from the hero squad, I'm just going to use Boris to go chase them down. Because I do not want them to come back from routing. Their arrows hurt. So we're going to go and try and do that. Meanwhile, I continue to move up our handgunners one by one to try and stay in range of the hero squad. So we're going to open fire on Thorgrim Grudgebearer, getting our spearmen over here to try and tie these units down so we can just focus them down with the handgunners. You can see the Witch Hunters chasing them. Jade Wizard's up here, getting more of our handgunners. Sterling's Revenge is up here. And we finally dealt with those Norgrimling Ironbreakers, so I'm just allowing our Grey Swords to chase off the field at this point, because I don't want them to come back. And Boris is just back here dealing with the Rangers. These spearmen are not going to last long, but at least they did hold them here for a little bit. So we can just open up fire some more with their handgunners. You can see Thorgrim has almost been focused down by the handgunner squads. I think he should be falling here very soon. There he goes. And so now we're going to be opening fire, I think, on the Thane. I meant to click on the Runesmith, but I think I accidentally clicked on the Thane, but that's okay. So now Sterling's Revenge and these 3 handgunners are going to be firing on these guys. I'm going to let the Witch Hunter sit here and take this charge, because, well, they're going to be focusing on killing the Witch Hunter, which means just gives us more time for the handgunners to try and kill them. So that's what they're doing, and Boris Topbringer is just still back here routing off these Rangers for the most part. But you can see they just chew through this Witch Hunter so very fast. So very fast. getting the Great Swords in here. I did cast Earthblood on them, but at this point, I believe my enemy is going to concede the battle. Because it was going to be really hard to come back from that. With all those handgunners just opening fire on the hero squad, it was going to be hard. But good game to my opponent. Was not expecting the Vanguard build to be used against me there. Was definitely shocking. But what kind of saved me, is how I spread my army out so much, and it wasn't just this like condensed line. Because all of these miners with blasting charges and the iron breakers, if I was in a condensed line in front of them, which I probably would have been, then my front line would have been just destroyed like immediately. But since I spread out so much, they didn't really get that quick surprise opening salvo of the blasting charges and all of the rangers opening up fire. So that kind of saved me doing the spread out formation. But so again, good game to Artemis Barca and the Vanguard Dwarves. Let's see, Boris Topbringer netting 100 kills. Witcher got 9 kills. He did actually fire his gun this time. So that's like 1,000% more useful than they've ever been in the past for me. Great Swords did okay to very good, as Great Swords tend to do. Handgunners were mostly free to just murder, which is what I was trying to do. I pulled them out of the Rangers' range long enough to tie them down or distract them with other units, and then I would put them back in. Because with 7 Rangers, my handgunners would be destroyed if I just let them sit still and fire. So you gotta be patient, pull them out, be okay with it, and wait for an opportunity to go back in. And I did, and so our handgunners managed to do a ton of kills. The Empire Knights, I wish they did a little bit better. I may have rushed them in a little quickly because of just the amount of Rangers I saw. So they kind of fell to the Hero Squad and the Dragonback Slayers. So you can see got 70 kills. A lot of those on my Empire Knights, which is really good. Stone's Revenge did pretty well before they got focused down. And then, yes, that's it. Let's see, Thorgrim Grudgebearer, 49 kills is great. The Thanes did great. The Miners, I think, still did really good. Dragonback Slayers did really good. The Norgoming Ironbreakers did amazing. The Rangers, I threw whatever I could at them to make sure they couldn't just sit still and fire. So I think that's reflected on the kills they got here. They still get some decent damage in, but I threw my Knights, I threw Boris multiple times, Spearmen where I could, Greatswords where I could. So I had them continually moving. I did not allow them to get a safe pocket to just sit in and snipe me from, because if I did, I would have just been massacred. When an opponent puts this much money into their range, you need to do whatever you can to shut them down, or else you will suffer the consequences. But still, good game to Artemis and the Vanguard Dwarves. Hope you enjoyed that battle, and let's see a cinematic view of this one. So yeah, as soon as this match started, my first words was, oh fuck, and then took a deep breath, was calm, pulled back a little bit, didn't panic, even though I kind of wanted to panic seeing all these rolls in my face. I was not ready for it, and good thing I didn't panic, because if I panicked, I probably would have just lost. Trying not to be too hasty, although we are going to get hit with some blasting. Ooh, yeah, that hurts. So now you can see that all the Rangers are focusing on Boris, and I believe I'm moving on my handgunners into the top of this hill. And now we're going to try and charge our position with the Great Swords. Now the Rangers are no longer focusing on them. And the Empire Knights are in there. You can see they're going to get caught by these Dragonback Slayers, I think. You don't really need, Demigryph Knights or Reichsguard. I guess you could use Reichsguard. Their high armor is really good. But, just cheap Empire Knights, I think, for the most part, are enough against Dwarf armies. You don't need to go super fancy and super expensive with your cav. Empire Knights kind of do the job. Also, a lot of friendly fire damage here with the blasting charges, which probably helped a lot, because these Rangers have very low armor. Not my intention, though. This is, alright, Shield of Thorns. I forgot. Hey, I took Shield of Thorns, by the way. Yes, sir. In case you're wondering. But you can see how I try to put as much pressure as I could on these rangers just to make them continue to move and not fire. While also trying to stay away from these guys, because damn, those guys. Now, I thought about using the Hellblaster volley gun on this one, and I was going to park it right here. Good thing I did not, because that thing probably would have been massacred by the Rangers really quickly. Yeah, Storm's Revenge. These guys are so cool. I love them. Yeah, take it for a ride.
Do not trust wizards.
Man, these Iron Breakers hold out so long. With the hero squad like my opponent had here with the Runesmith and the Thanes rolling with Thorgrim, I didn't really think it would be too safe to try and snipe Thorgrim with Boris. If it was just Thorgrim by himself though, definitely in this situation, if you have Boris, you would attack Thorgrim one-on-one. But with two Thanes and a Runesmith guarding him, that's why you see him, I'm like, nah, I'm cool, I'm just gonna run over here and fight these dwarves instead. Like these guys, they do a lot of damage. You gotta know when to try and melee the enemy lord and when not to. This is definitely when not to, because like right here, God, he takes so much damage from this hero squad. And the thing, like, it's a good idea to bring the Thanes to protect Thorgrim, because a lot of players in this game, like a big part of it is sniping the enemy's hero as fast, or lord, as fast as you can. Thanes will definitely deter from that way of thinking. And if the opponent still does charge Thorgrim with two Thanes protecting him, well, it's their fault. But like these handgunners, though, Little out of the range of the Thanes. Hey, there's the Witch Hunter. He fired his gun. It can't happen. Proof. He fired it again. You want to see him do it again? I wonder, did you kill him? No, the Witch Hunter didn't kill. The Witch Hunter doesn't kill people. That doesn't happen. And then he goes from full health to basically 0 against these things pretty quickly. Like, he's supposed to be this hybrid, but man, like, he can kind of hold his own against light infantry, I guess, but not against any kind of melee hero. I guess he's not supposed to be your hybrid. Yeah, that's going to be it, everybody. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. That was a fun battle for me. I enjoy when people bring different tactics, and the Vanguard is a different tactic as what I'm, used to against dwarf players. So anyway, I will see you all next time. Take care.